couldn't let her do it alone. My name is Lauren LaCourse, and this is Joanna Pagali. We have been directing this production for your entertainment for about 8 weeks now, and we are really excited to show you what we've done. We've had an amazing cast and crew that has literally been working until they are tired. I was going to say tirelessly, and then I was like, no, we're all tired. But it's exciting. And we cannot do this without you. Family, friends, community is what we're trying to build here. So we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for coming to support your students in this production. Having said that, we still need you. So during intermission, we're going to have 2 intermissions because this is a murder mystery. So ferreting out who the guilty party is part of the fun. So we're offering you 2 intermissions, 2 chances to get coffee, cocoa, and donuts, and to try and figure out who is the guilty party. With that, Joanna has a couple things to mention to you. Please remember to silence your phones, like that one. And also, no flash photography as it'll disrupt the actors. And please do enjoy the show. Thank you. Thank you.
Just for her.
Sounds most romantic.
Poor Johnny. He thought by cutting her off from the rest of the world he could hold her, without even a telephone as means of communication.
But of course, the fair Lily tired of her ivory tower and escaped.
Johnny went back to Wall Street, made a few more millions, and the place was sold.
And here we are. Well, I ought to find Mrs. Owen. The others will be up in a minute.
It'd be very rude to leave the guest here on his own, wouldn't it?
Would it? Oh, well, I wonder where she is.
She'll come down when she's ready. You mind if I have a drink? I'm rather dry.
Of course you could.
It's awful steep climb up here. What's yours?
None for me, thank you. Not on duty.
My good secretary's never off duty.
Really, this is exciting.
What?
All this, the snow, the mountains, and this lovely house. I am going to enjoy myself.
I think you are. I think we both are. Here's to you. You're very lovely.
Where's Mrs. Owen?
Mr. and Mrs. Owen won't be down until tomorrow, miss. Thought you would have known.
Tomorrow, but
I have a list of guests you're expected, miss, if you would like to have it.
thank you. How awful. I say, you will be sweet and help me, won't you?
I won't move from your side.
Thank you. It seems rather silly to have brought only us in the first boat and all the rest in the second.
I'm afraid that was by design, not accident.
Design? What do you mean?
Well, I convinced the boatman that there was no need to wait for any more passengers. That and $50 soon started up the engine.
Oh, you shouldn't have done that.
Well, they're not a very interesting one, are they?
I thought the young man was rather nice looking.
Callow, very callow, and very young.
I suppose you think a man in his 30s is more attractive?
I don't think, my dear, I know.
Wizard place you've got here.
I'm Mrs. Owen's secretary. Mrs. Owen has been detained in town, I'm afraid, and won't be down until tomorrow.
Oh, too bad.
Can I introduce Captain Lombard, Mr.
Marson, Anthony Marson.
Care for a drink?
My, thank you.
What'll it be? Whiskey, sherry?
Whiskey, I think. Wonderful place you've got here.
I'm Mrs. Owen's secretary. Mrs. Owen has been detained in town, I'm afraid, and won't be down until tomorrow.
Say it.
Oh, wizard. How are you? Davis. Davis is the name.
Mr. Davis, Mr. Marston. Care for a drink?
Mr. Marston, how are you? Thanks, Mr. Lombard. What do I do? Bit of a stiff climb up here, but whew, what a view and what a height. Reminds me of South Africa, this place.
Really? What part?
Oh, it's all Durban, you know.
Really?
Well, here's the temperance. Do you, know South Africa?
Me? No.
That's where I come from. It's the tall state.
Interesting country, I should think.
Finest country in the world, sir. Gold, silver, diamonds, oranges, everything a man can want. Talk about a land flowing with beer and Skittles.
How do you do?
General Mackenzie, isn't it? I'm Mrs. Owen's secretary. Mrs. Owen has been detained in town, I'm afraid, and won't be down until tomorrow. Can I introduce Captain Lombard, Mr. Marston, and Mr.
Davis. Davis is the name.
Whiskey and soda, sir?
Thanks. You in the service?
Formerly in the American National Arms. Too tame for me in peacetime. I chucked it.
Pity. When?
Where is Miss Owen? Miss Brent, isn't it? I'm Mrs. Owen's secretary. Mrs. Owen has been detained in town, I'm afraid, and
Won't be down until tomorrow.
Indeed, extraordinary. Did she miss the train?
I expect so. Won't you have something? Can I introduce Captain Lombard, Mr. Marston, General Mackenzie, I believe you all met on the boat, and Mr.
Davis. Davis is the name. Can I take your case?
Would you like something to drink? Glass of sherry, dry martini, whiskey and soda?
I never touch alcohol.
You never touch alcohol?
I suppose you know, young man, that you left us standing there on the dock.
I'm afraid, Miss Brent, I was to blame for that. I wanted to...
Seems to me most extraordinary that Miss Owen should not be here to receive her guests.
Perhaps she's the kind of person who just can't help missing trains.
That's what I reckon she is.
Not at all. Mrs. Owen is the least like that.
Perhaps it was her husband's fault.
She hasn't got a husband. I should like to go to my room.
Of course, I'll take you there.
You'll find Mrs. Rogers right upstairs, miss. She will show you.
I'm afraid our host and hostess haven't arrived yet. My name's Lombard, miss.
I'm Margaret. How do you do?
How do you do? Care for a drink?
Ah, yes, please, a whiskey.
Wonderful place you've got here. Quite unique.
As you say, quite unique.
A drink, ma'am.
Is old Badger Berkeley rolled up yet?
Who?
Badger Berkeley. Wrote me up for the show. When's he coming?
I think he is coming. Nobody in the name of Berkeley.
That dirty old double-crosser. He's let me down. Well, it is a pretty wizard island. And a pretty wizard girl, that secretary. She ought to liven things up a bit. I say, old man, how's about a dress of potato this time?
Why not go and explore?
Now, wizard.
Things are a bit of sixes and sevens if the Owen's not turning up.
Sure you what? Pretty wizard place for a holiday.
Aren't you going to sit down?
Well, to tell you the truth, you seem to be in my chair.
Oh, I am sorry. I didn't realize you were one of the family.
that exactly. To tell you the truth, I have never been here before. You see, I live at the banking club, have for the past 10 years. My seat is just about there. Can't get used to sitting anywhere else.
It becomes a bit of a habit.
Yes, it certainly does. Thank you. I was a bit surprised when I got this invitation. I haven't had anything for well over 4 years. Very nice of them, I thought.
Oh, there you are, madam. May I have your keys?
Is Lady Constance Collington expected here? Can you tell me?
Lady Constance Collington. No. No, not unless they're coming down with Mr. and Mrs. Owen, of course.
Oh.
Oh, allow me, sir. May I have your keys?
No thanks. I'll unpack for myself.
Wonderful. Shall I show you to your room?
Oh, please.
Right this way. Dinner's at 8 o'clock. Be sure you're dressed.
Here you are, sir. Rockwell Roberts.
Oh. How are you? Davis. Davis is the name.
Mine's Rogers.
Rogers?
Sorry, I'm used to talking to Rogers, but have you seen him?
So what is your name?
Armstrong.
Dr. Armstrong, if I remember correctly.
Yeah?
Thought so. Never forget a face.
Don't tell me I've forgotten one of my patients.
Oh, no, nothing like that. But I once saw you in court giving expert evidence.
Oh, are you interested in the law?
Well, I'm from South Africa, you see. Naturally, legal processes are bound to interest a colonial such as myself.
Oh, yes, of course.
Have a drink?
No thank you, I'd never touch it.
Well, do you mind if I do? Mine's empty.
Not a bit.
Been having a look around the island. Wonderful place.
Wonderfully restful. I thought as I was coming across the mainland what a haven of peace this place was.
Too peaceful for some, I dare say.
Wonderfully restful, wonderful for the nerves. I am a nerve specialist, you know.
Yes, I do know that. Did you come by train?
No. I motored down, dropped in on a patient on the way. Great improvement, wonderful response.
Best part for 200 miles, isn't it? How long did it take you?
Well, I didn't hurry. I never hurried. Bad for the nerves. Some mannerless young fellow nearly drove me into a ditch. Shot past me about 80 miles per hour. I'd like to have had it somewhere.
Yes. If only more people would take the numbers of these young road hogs.
Yes, sir, you must excuse me. I must have a word with Mr. Owen.
Oh, but Mr. Owen isn't coming down until tomorrow, so...
You rang, sir.
Yes. Take my hat, will you?
Yes, sir.
What time's supper?
Dinner's at 8 o'clock, sir. In a quarter of an hour. I think that tonight the dressing will be optional.
Got a good place here.
Yes, thank you, sir.
You been here long?
Just under a week, sir.
So, don't suppose you know much about the crowd that's here?
No, not much, sir.
Oh, old friends of the family?
Really couldn't say, sir.
No, that's too bad. Oh, Rogers,
Yes, sir.
you, mind putting a bottle of beer and some sandwiches in my bedstand at night? Getting an hell of an appetite with this sea air.
I'll see what I can do, sir.
Rogers, I'll see you won't lose by it. Where's my room?
It's right this way, sir.
Excellent. I could use with a wash and brush up straight away.
Oh, there you are, Rogers. You ought to give me a hand with the dishing up. You're always leaving the dirty work to me. Here I am with a 4-course meal on my hands and no one to help me. You might can give me a hand in the kitchen. Who was it you were talking to, by the way?
Ugh, Davis, South African gentleman. No class, if you ask me, and no money either.
I don't like him. I don't like any of them much. Too much like that lot in the boarding house, I'd say.
Yeah, Davis gives out like he's a millionaire. You should see his underwear. Cheapest they can make him.
Well, as I said, they're not treating us right. Who do they think we are?
Now then. Anyway,
this, Rogers. I'm not staying any place where I'm put upon. Cooking's my business. I'm a good cook.
Heard a straight, old girl.
But the kitchen's my place, and the housework is none of my business. All these guests, I've got half a mind to put my hat and coat on and walk straight back to Seward.
Oh, you can't do that, old girl.
Why not? I should like to know.
Because you're on an island. Had you forgotten that?
I don't know if I fancy being on an island.
Don't know that I do either, come to that. I was looking up in the pub and going to the pictures. Oh, well, it's a double wages on account of difficulties. And there's plenty of beer in the house.
That's all you ever think about, beer.
Now, stop your nagging and get back to the kitchen or dinner will be spoiled.
It'll be spoilt anyway, I expect. Everyone's going to be late. Waste on them anyway. Thank goodness I didn't make a souffle. Dinner won't be a minute missed, just a question of dishing up.
Is everything all right, Rogers? Can you manage between the two of you?
Yes, thank you, miss. The business talks an awful lot, but she gets it done.
What a perfectly lovely evening.
Yes, indeed. The weather seems very settled.
How plainly one can hear the sea.
A pleasant sound.
Hardly a breath of wind, and deliciously warm.
I should have thought you might feel uncomfortable in that dress.
Oh, no,
It's rather tight, isn't it?
I don't think so.
You'll excuse me, my dear, but you're a young girl and you have your living to earn.
Yes.
A well-bred woman doesn't like her secretary to appear flashy. It looks, you know, as though you were trying to attract the attention of the opposite sex.
And would you say I do attract them?
That's beside the point. A girl who deliberately sets out to attract the attention of men won't be likely to keep her job for long.
Surely that depends on who she's working for.
Really, Miss Claythorne,
Aren't you being a little unkind?
young people nowadays behave in the most disgusting fashion.
Disgusting.
Yes, low-backed evening dresses, lying half naked on beaches, all this so-called sunbathing, an excuse for immodest conduct and nothing more. Familiarity, Christian names, drinking cocktails, and look at the young men nowadays. Decadent. Look at that young Marston. What good is he? And that Captain Lombard.
And what do you have to object to in Captain Lombard? I should say he was a man who led a very varied and interesting life.
The man's an adventurer. This younger generation is no good. No good at all.
You don't like youth, I see.
What do you mean?
I was just remarking that you don't like young people.
And is there any reason I should, pray?
Oh, no. But it seems you must miss an awful lot.
You're very impertinent.
I'm sorry, but that's just what I think.
This world will never improve until we stamp out immodesty. Quite pathological. What was that?
Nothing.
What about the old girl?
She looks rather like a tortoise, don't you think so?
All judges look like tortoises. They have that venomous way of cutting their heads in and out. Madam Justice Wargrave is no different.
I hadn't realized she was a judge.
Oh, yes. She's probably been responsible for sending more innocent people to their deaths than anybody else in the country. Hello, you. Have you two met each other, Dr. Armstrong, Miss Claythorne? You see, me and the doctor have just decided that the old girl...
Yes, I heard you. And so did she, I think.
Lawrence. Miss Brent, isn't it?
Yes. I would like to ask you something. Will you join me out here?
Now, a remarkably fine night.
An absolutely wizard car. Supercharged Jaguar. You don't see many long streets. You can go over 100 out of her.
Did you come from Fairbanks?
Yes, 208 miles. And I did a bit over 4 hours. Too many cars on the road, though, to keep it up. Catch 90 going past Wasilla. Not too bad, eh?
I think you passed me on the road.
No, did I?
You nearly drove me into a ditch.
Oh, sorry.
Men like you, they speed down the road. What's wrong with you?
It's almost like give me a drink. Would you have a Miss Claythorne?
No, thank you.
Good evening, Mrs. Owens.
Why, Mrs. Owen?
Why? Because you make the most wonderful wife for any wealthy businessman.
Do you always flirt so outrageously?
Always.
Oh, well, now we know.
When do you think the judge is speaking to Miss Brent about? She tried to buttonhole her earlier.
I don't know. Funny. She seemed so definite that there wasn't a Mr. Owen.
You don't think that Mr. and Mrs. Owens aren't They aren't.
What? Married, you mean?
Damn shame we don't know each other. Could have given you a lift down.
Yes, that would have been grand.
I'd like to show you what I can do across this straightaway. I tell you what, how about we drive back up together?
But
I mean, we go back to Wasilla.
She likes the way she's going.
Look! Those 10 little soldier boys! And there's the old nursery rhyme.
What soldier boys? When nursery rhyme?
10 little soldier boys going out to dine. One went and choked himself, and then there were 9. 9 little soldier boys sat up very late. One overslept himself, and then there were 8.
8 little soldier boys.
Ladies and gentlemen, silence please. You are charged with these indictments, that you did commit the following. Edward Armstrong, that you did cause the death of Louisa Mary Cleese. William Henry Bloor, that you brought about the death of James Stephen Landor. Emily Caroline Brent, that you were responsible for the death of Beatrice Taylor. Vera Elizabeth Claythorne, that you killed Peter Ogilvy Hamilton. Philip Lombard, that you were guilty of the deaths of 21 men, members of an East African tribe. John Jordan Mackenzie, that you sent your wife's lover, Archer Richmond, to his death. Anthony James Marston, that you were guilty of the murder of John and Lucy Combs. Thomas Rogers and Ethel Rogers, that you brought about the death of Jennifer Brady. Lauren June Wargrave, that you were guilty of the murder of Edward Seaton. Prisoners at the bar, have you anything to say in your defense?
She's fainted. She'll be all right. She'll be around in a minute. Get some brandy.
Rogers, get some bread.
Who was that speaking? It sounded...
What's going on here? What kind of practical joke was that? It's fellow Owen. Whoever he is.
Where did that voice come from? Here we are.
Ladies and gentlemen, silence please.
Turn it off!
You
Turn
are
it off!
charged
It's
with these...
horrible!
Who said it going?
Was it you, Rogers?
I'm terribly sorry. I didn't know what that was. Oh dear. Are you all right? Oh, son. Ethel, it's all right. It's all right. Do you hear me? Pull yourself together now. Oh.
You'll be all right, Miss Rogers. Did I faint, sir? Yes. Was that voice an awful voice, like a judgment? Drink this, Miss Rogers. I'll be all right. Just gave me a nasty turn.
Of course it gave you a turn. Gave me a nasty turn at will. Pack of damn lies it was. I'd like to know.
Who was it that put the record on the gramophone? Was it you, Rogers?
I was only obeying orders.
Whose orders?
Mr. Owens.
Let me get this quite clear. Mr. Owen's orders were what exactly?
I was to put the record on the gramophone right over there. I'd find the records right next to it. And I was to start with that one. I didn't know what it was. It had a name on it. I thought it was just a piece of music.
A very remarkable story.
It's the heaven, Your Honor. By heaven, it's the truth. I didn't know what it was, not for a moment. I really thought it was just to give you all some music.
Is there a title?
Yes, ma'am, there's a title. It's titled Swan Song.
The whole thing's preposterous. Preposterous! Slinging about accusations like this. Something must be done about it. This fellow Owen, whoever he is.
That's just it. Who is he?
That's what we must go into very carefully. I should suggest that you get your wife to bed, Rogers, and come back here.
I'll give you a hand.
Will she be all right, Doctor?
Oh, yes, quite all right.
I don't know about you, ma'am, but I feel like we need another drink.
I agree.
I'll get them.
The whole thing's preposterous. Preposterous.
Whiskey for you, Sir Owens?
I should like a glass of water, please.
Yes, of course. I'll get it. I'll have a little whiskey too, please.
She'll be all right now. I've given her sedative.
Now then, Doctor, you want a drink after all this?
No, thank you. I'd never touch it.
Oh, so you said. You have this one, General.
Now then, Rogers, we must get to the bottom of this. Tell us what you know about Mr. Owen.
He really say. You see, I've never seen the man.
What do you mean you've never seen him?
We were engaged by letter, my wife and I, through the registry office, the Regina in Seattle.
That's a high-class firm. We can check on that.
Have you got that letter?
Oh, the letter engaging us? Yes, it's around here somewhere.
Go on with your story.
Well, we arrived here like the letter says, on the 4th. Everything was very much in order, the food was in stock, and the alcohol, until recently, just needed dusting and that.
What next?
Well, nothing. That is, we got orders to prepare for a house party. 8. Then yesterday, by the morning post, we received new orders saying that Mr. and Mrs. Owen might be held up, and if so, we was to do the best we could. It gave instructions about the record and the gramophone and such. Here it is.
Head of Ritz Hotel. Typewritten.
Coronation machine number 5. Unsigned paper. No defects. We're not going to get much out of this. We can try for fingerprints, but it's been handled too much already.
You're quite the little detective.
Fancy, he's got some fancy name, hasn't he? Ulrich Norman Owen. Quite a mouthful.
I'm obliged to you, Mr. Marston. You have drawn my attention to a curious and suggestive point. I think the time has come for us to pool our information. It would be well for everyone to come forth with all the information they have regarding our unknown host. We are all his guests. I think it would be profitable each one of us were to explain exactly how that came about.
There's something very peculiar about all of this. I received a letter with a signature that was not very easy to read. It purported to be from a woman who I had met at a certain summer resort 2 or 3 summers ago. I took the name to be Ogden. I am quite certain I have never met nor become friendly with anyone of the name of Owen.
Have you got that letter, Miss Brent?
Yes, I will fetch it for you.
Miss Claythorne?
I wanted a holiday post, so I applied to a secretarial agency. Miss Grenfell's in Seattle. I was offered this post and accepted.
And you were never interviewed by your prospective employer?
No. Here's the letter.
I've received your name from Miss Grenfell's agency. I understand she knows you personally. I shall be glad to pay you the salary you ask and shall expect you to take up your duties on August 8th. The train is at the 12:19 from Anchorage and you will be met at the station. I enclose $5 for expenses. Yours truly, Una Nancy Owen. Mr. Marston?
I don't actually know the Owens. Got a wire from a pal of mine, Badger, Berkeley. Told me to roll up here. Surprised me a bit, because I had no idea the old horse had gone to Norway. I haven't got the wire.
Thank you. Dr. Armstrong?
In the circumstances, I'd like to admit that my visit here was professional. Mr. Owen wrote to me that he was worried about his wife's health, her nerves to be precise. He therefore suggested that I come as a regular guest.
You had no greetings with the family?
No?
But you had no hesitation in obeying his summons.
Well, a very handsome fee was suggested. I was due for a holiday anyway.
Dear Miss Brent, I do hope you remember me. We were together at Belhaven Guest House in August some years ago, and we seem to have so much in common. I'm starting a guest house of my own, and I think there is really an opening for a place where there is good plain cooking and a nice old-fashioned kind of person. None of this nudity and gramophones half the night. I shall be very glad if you can see your way to spending your summer holiday on Soldier Island. As my guest, of course, I suggest August 8th from 12:40 from Paddington to Anchorage. Yours sincerely, UN. Yes, the signature is slightly ambiguous.
I like the nudity touch.
Here's my own decoy letter from an old friend of mine, Lady Constance Hamilton. She writes in her usual vague, incoherent ways, urges me to join her here, and refers to her host and hostess in the vaguest of terms.
Now listen here, I've just thought of something.
In a minute.
But
We will deal with one thing at a time, if you don't mind, Captain Lombard. General Mackenzie?
Got a letter from this fellow Owen. Thought I must have met him at the club sometime. Mentioned some old time for to be here. I'd hope to excuse the informal invitation. Haven't kept the letter I've agreed.
And you, Captain Lombard.
Same sort of thing. Letter mentioning mutual friends. I haven't kept it either.
Just now we had a somewhat disturbing experience. An apparently disembodied voice spoke to us all by name, uttering certain definite accusations. We will deal with those accusations presently. But at the moment, I'm interested in a minor point. Amongst the names received was that of William Henry Blore. But as far as we are concerned, there is no one named Blore amongst us. The name of Davis was not mentioned either. What have you to say about that, Mr. Davis?
Well, cat's out of the bag, I guess. Suppose I better admit that, my name isn't Davis.
You are William Henry Blore?
That's right.
Something to add to that. Not only are you here under a false name, Mr. Blore, but I'm willing to bet that you've never set foot in Africa in your life.
You gentlemen have got me wrong. I'm an ex-FBI man.
Oh, a copper.
I've got my credentials and I can prove it. I run a detective agency in Seattle. I was put onto this job.
By who?
Mr. Owen, of course, sent a very nice money order paying for expenses, saying I was to pose as a guest. He also sent a list of all your names and said I was to keep an eye on you all.
Any reason given?
Said Mrs. Owen had some valuable jewels. Mrs. Owen, my foot. I don't believe there is any such person.
Your conclusions are, I think, justified. Ulrich Norman Owen, Una Nancy Owen. Each time, that is to say, UN, or, by a slight stretch of fancy, unknown.
But it's fantastic. Matt.
Oh, I have no doubt in my own mind that we've been invited here by a homicidal lunatic. Probably a dangerous homicidal lunatic.
My God.
Whoever it is who has enticed us here, that person has made certain definite accusations.
It's all very well to make accusations.
But of the knowledge concerning us, he has made these claims about us.
Damn lie. Don't know what the damn was getting at. He sent me the
I wish to say this. When our name was mentioned, I was accused of murdering that of Edward Seaton. I remember Seaton perfectly well. Came before me in trial of June 1930. The man was charged with the murder of an elderly woman. He was very ably defended, and the jury had taken a liking to him. But, nevertheless, on the evidence, I was certain he was guilty. On passing sentence of death, I fully concurred with this verdict, and the man was duly executed. I wish to say this. My conscience is perfectly clear on the matter. I did my duty and nothing more. I passed sentence on a rightly convicted murderer.
The old girl's lying. I swear.
Fellow's a madman. Absolute madman. Got a bee in his bonnet, got hold of the wrong end of the stick all around. Best really to leave this sort of thing unanswered. However, feel I have to say no truth whatsoever in what he said about young Arthur Richmond. Richmond was one of my officers. I sent him on reconnaissance in 1917. He was killed. Also like to say, resent very much slur on my wife. Been dead a long time. Best woman in the world.
I've just been thinking. John and Lucy Coates. Must have been a couple of kids I ran over near Kirkwood. Beastly bad luck.
For them or for you?
Well, I was thinking, for me. But of course, it was damn bad luck for them. In my defense, it was a pure accident. They come running out of some cavern or other, and I get my license suspended for a year. Beastly nuisance.
Young men like you are a danger to the community.
But I couldn't help it. It was a pure accident.
Might I say something?
Go ahead, Rogers.
There was a mention of me and my wife and of Miss Jennifer Brady. There isn't a word of truth in it. We were with Miss Brady when she died. She was always in poor health from the day we came to her. There was a storm and an accident on the night she died. The telephone was out. The doctor couldn't be reached. I went for him on foot. But by the time we got back, it was too late. We had done everything possible for her, everything. And there was never a word said against us.
Came into a nice little something, At her death, I suppose?
Miss Brady left us a legacy in recognition of our faithful service, and why not, I'd like to know.
What about yourself, Lord?
What about me?
Well, your name was on the list, wasn't it?
I know. Landor, you mean? That was the bank robbery.
I remember the name, though it didn't come before me. Lando was convicted on your evidence. You were the police officer in charge of the case.
That's right.
Leander got penal servitude for life and died a year later. He was a delicate man.
He was a crook. He killed that night watchman. The case was cleared from the start.
You were complimented, I think, on your able handling of the situation.
I got my promotion. I was only doing my duty.
Convenient word, duty. What about yourself, Doctor?
I don't even remember the name. What was it? Close, please? I can't remember the name or it being a patient of mine in any way. Though it was a long time ago. Oh, it must have been one of my operation cases. So many people come so late, and when it's too late, they die, and it's always the surgeon's fault.
So you give up on surgery, you take up on nerve cases. Some doctors, of course, give up on drink.
I protest. You have no right to insinuate such things.
Never suggested that you did. Besides, Mr. Unknown Owen's the only one who knows all the facts.
Miss Claiborne?
I was nursery governess to Peter Hamilton. We were in Cornwall for the summer. He was forbidden to swim out far. One day, when my attention was distracted, he started off. As soon as I saw what happened, I swam after him, but I couldn't get to him in time.
Was there an inquiry?
Yes, I was exonerated by the coroner. His mother didn't blame me either.
Thank you. Miss Brent?
I have nothing to say.
Nothing?
Nothing.
You reserve your defense.
There is no question of defense. I have always acted according to the dictates of my own conscience.
The law-abiding like we seem to be. Myself excluded.
We are waiting for your explanation, Captain Lombard.
Well, I hate to disappoint, but I haven't got one.
What do you mean?
I mean, I plead guilty. I left those natives alone in the bush. It was a matter of self-preservation.
You abandoned your men?
Now I know it's not quite the act of a proper gentleman, but self-preservation is a man's first duty. Besides, they don't mind dying as much as us Americans.
Our inquiry rests there. Now then, Rogers, is there anybody on this island besides ourselves, you and your wife?
Nobody. Nobody at all.
You're sure of that?
Yes, quite sure.
Thank you. Don't go yet, Rogers. I'm not yet clear as to the purpose of our unknown host in getting us to assemble here. But in my opinion, he's not sane if you accept the sense of the word. He may be dangerous. I propose we should leave here as soon as possible. We should leave here tonight.
Begging your pardon, but there's no boat on the island.
No boat at all?
No.
Why don't you telephone to the mainland?
There's no telephone either. Fred Narracott comes over every morning. Pardon me, Amelia Narracott comes over every morning, brings the bread, the post, the papers, and takes the orders. That's all the contact we've got.
Isn't it a bit unsporting to throw out the whole mystery of it? The whole thing's like a detective story. Positively thrilling.
At my time of life, I've no desire for thrills.
The legal life's narrowing. I'm all for the crime. Here's to it.
He's dead.
Dead? Do you mean the fellow just choked and died?
A man doesn't die in a choking fit, General Mackenzie. He died of asphyxiation, ready.
Never knew a man could die like that. Just of a choking fit.
In the middle of life, we are in death.
The man didn't just die of a choking fit. His death wasn't a natural death.
Was there something in the whiskey?
Yes, but I smelled it cyanide. Probably potassium cyanide. Acts pretty well instantaneously.
Then he must have put the stuff in his drink himself.
Suicide, eh? That's a rough go.
You'd never think he'd commit suicide. He was so alive. He was enjoying himself. Oh, look. One of the
soldier boys off the mantelpiece. Broken.
Right, so that's our Act 1. Please take this time to stretch your legs, grab a donut, grab some coffee, maybe use the bathroom. We're going to take a 15-minute intermission. See you in a little bit. I love it. That's how I want it to be.
Perfect. buddy. Following looks and things that we don't know what.
No, it's the live streaming camera.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Can I buy the video?
It's the live stream on YouTube.
Oh, that's a problem. Run away!
It's my first attempt, so judge me lightly, please. Yeah, so don't throw this away. It has valuable info on it. Yeah, we'll talk later. All right, so the actors are taking their places. You may have another 30 seconds to check. top. No sign of that boat yet.
It's very early still.
Yes, but the lady brings the milk and the bread and all that. You'd think she'd be here by now. What's going on here? No sign of any breakfast.
Oh, don't let's bother about breakfast.
How's the weather looking?
Rather a mackerel sky. Old boy in the train yesterday said we were due for dirty weather. Didn't wonder if he wasn't right.
Wish that boat would come. Annoying the way there isn't a boat on an island. Should we go up there again?
It's no use, Doctor. Watch pot never boils. There's no proper harbor. If a wind were to come from the southeast, the boat would get dashed to pieces against the rocks.
But a boat would always be able to make us from the mainland?
No, Miss Brent. That's just what it wouldn't.
Do you mean we should be cut off from the land?
Yes. Condensed milk, Revita, and tin stuff till the gale has blown itself out. But you needn't worry. The sea's only a bit shallow.
I think the pleasures of living on an island are rather overrated.
Is that boat going to come? Knowing the way the house is built slat up against the cliff. Can't see the mainland until you climb to the top. We should go up there again. We should check.
It's no use, Doctor. There was no sign of a boat putting out when we were up there.
Where's Rogers?
If you ask me, Master Rogers was pretty badly rattled last night.
Yes, I understand.
Still, it's ghastly, but it got the wind up. No, if you ask me, I'd take an even bet that Rogers and his wife didn't do that, old lady. And,
You really think so?
well, never seen a man more scared. Guilty as hell, I should say.
Where is that young poor fellow now?
I say, do you suppose Rogers hopped it?
But
Oh, no. He would not be allowed to leave this island.
I mean, he says there's no boat, but we only have his word for that. Suppose there is one, and he's nipped off in the first thing.
He won't be allowed to leave this island.
You sleep well, Gemma?
I dream. Yes, I dream.
I don't wonder at that.
I dreamed of my wife. Pleasant,
Oh, yes. I do wish that Narracott would show up.
Who is Narracott?
The lady who brought us down yesterday afternoon.
Was it only yesterday?
Yes, I feel like that too. Batty gramophone records, suicides, it's about all a man can take. I won't be sorry to see the back of Soul Drive if got my way.
So you don't understand. How strange.
What's that, Gemma?
I don't like the look of him.
I reckon young Marston's suicide was a pretty bad shock. It was years ago.
Dr. Armstrong, I suppose it was suicide?
Well, what else could it be?
I don't know, but suicide.
You know, I had a pretty funny feeling in the night. This Mr. Unknown Owen, suppose he's on the island. Rogers might not know. Or perhaps he was told to say so. Pretty nasty thought, isn't it?
Oh, there you are, sir. Oh, I've been all over the island looking for you. Could you come and have a look at my wife, sir?
Yes, is she still feeling under the weather?
She's... Oh.
You won't leave this island without me.
I wish that boat would come. I hate this place.
Yes, the sooner we can get in contact with the police, the better.
The police.
The police have to be notified in a case of suicide, Miss Claythorne.
Oh, yes, of course.
What's going on here? Still no sign of breakfast.
Are you hungry, General? Feeling like breakfast?
Leslie, my dear.
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm Vera Claythorne.
Forgive me. I took you for my wife.
Oh,
You see, I was waiting for her.
but I thought she was dead long ago.
Yes, I thought so too. But she's here, on this island.
Good morning.
Good morning, Captain Lombard.
Good morning. Well, didn't have overslept myself. Is the boat here yet?
Nope.
Bit late, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Good morning. You and I could have had a swim before breakfast. Too bad all that makes me lose my sleep.
Didn't dream of African natives by any chance, did you?
Didn't dream of convicts by any chance, did you?
Now look here, Captain Lombard. I don't think that's funny.
When we started it. Anyways, when's breakfast?
The whole domestic staff seems to have gone on strike.
We could always just forage for ourselves.
Hello, that's strange.
What is?
You remember we found one of these little fellows smashed last night?
Yes, that ought to leave 9.
That ought to leave 9. I'm certain there were 10 of them here when we arrived.
Well,
There are only 8.
so there are. There are only 8.
I think it's weird, don't you?
Probably only 9 to begin with. We assume there were 10 because of the riot. Hello, Armstrong. What's the matter?
Miss Rogers is dead.
No. How?
Died in her sleep. Rogers thought she was still under the influence of the sleeping drug I gave her last night. He came down without disturbing her, lit up the kitchen fire and did up this room. Then, as she hadn't appeared, he went up, was alarmed by the look at her and went hunting for me. She's been dead for about 5 hours, I should say.
What was it? Heart?
Possible to say.
After all, she had a pretty bad shock last night.
Yes?
Suppose she was poisoned. Would you say, Doctor?
I mean, it is perfectly possible.
With the same stuff as young Marston?
No, not cyanide. Probably some narcotic or hypnotic. One of the barbiturates or chloral, something like that.
You gave her some sleeping powders last night, didn't you?
Yes, I gave her a mild dose of Luno.
Didn't give her too much, did you?
Of course not. What do you mean?
All right. No offense, no offense. I just thought, perhaps if she had a weak heart.
The amount that I gave her could not have harmed anyone.
And what exactly did happen, Doctor?
If, for instance, this death had occurred with one of your private patients, what would have been your procedure?
Without exact knowledge of the woman's previous state of health, I could not give a certificate.
She was a very nervous-looking creature. She had a bad fright last night. Perhaps it was heart failure?
Her heart certainly failed to beat, for what caused it to fail.
Conscience.
Excuse me, Miss Brenda?
We've all heard. She was accused, together with her husband, of having deliberately murdered her former employee, an old lady.
And you believe that's true, Miss Brent?
Certainly. You all saw her last night. She broke down utterly and fainted. The shock of having her wickedness brought home to her was too much for her. She literally died of fear.
Well, it is a possible theory. One cannot adapt it without more exact knowledge.
Call it, if you prefer, an act of God.
Oh, no, Miss Brent.
You believe it to be impossible that a sinner should be struck down by the wrath of God? I do not.
My dear lady, in my experience of ill-doing, Providence is the work of conviction and chastisement to us mortals. There are no shortcuts.
All right, let's be practical. What did the woman have to eat and drink last night before she went to bed?
Nothing.
Nothing? Nothing at all? Not even a cup of tea or a glass of water? I bet you she had a cup of tea. That's what it always does.
Rogers assured me she had nothing whatever.
You might say so.
Oh, so that's your idea.
Well, why not? You all heard that accusation last night. What if it's true? Brent thinks it is for one. Rogers and his missus did that old lady in. They're feeling quite safe and happy about it.
Happy?
Well, they know there's no immediate danger to them. And if some lunatic goes and spills the beans, what happens? It's the woman that cracks. Goes to pieces. You saw Rogers standing over her when she was coming to last night. Not all husbandly solicitude, not on your sweet life. It was like a cat on hot bricks. And that's the position. They've done a murder and gotten away with it. But if it's all going to be raked up again, well, the woman's going to give the show away. She hasn't the nerve to burst it out. She's a living danger to herself and to him. But him, he'll keep on lying till the cows come home. He doesn't know about her. So what does he do? He slips a nice little dollop of something into a nice little cup of tea. And when she's had it, he rinses the cup and saucer, tells the doctor she ain't had nothing.
No, that's impossible. A man wouldn't do that. Not to his wife.
You'd be surprised, Miss Claythorne, what some husbands would do.
Excuse me, miss. I'm getting on breakfast now. I'm not much of a hannah's cook, I'm afraid. It's lunch that's worrying me. Would spam and gelatin be satisfactory? And I could always manage some fried potatoes. And then there's always the tin stuff.
That'll be fine, Rogers.
Lunch? Lunch? We're not going to be here for lunch. When the hell's that boat coming?
Mr. Bloor.
What?
You'll pardon me, sir, but the boat won't be coming. What? Maricott's always here before 8. Is there anything else you require, miss?
No, thank you.
And it's not Rogers. His wife, lying dead upstairs. Here he is cooking breakfast and calmly talking about lunch? Now he says his boat won't be coming. How the hell does he know?
Mr. Bloor.
What?
Oh, don't you see? He's dazed. He's just carrying on automatically as any good servant would. It's pathetic, really.
The really significant thing is the failure of the boat to arrive. It means that we are being deliberately cut off from help.
That's very little time. Very little time.
What's that, General?
Very little time. We mustn't waste it talking about things that don't matter.
So why do you think Narcot hasn't turned up yet?
I think the ubiquitous Mr. Owen has given orders.
I mean, Doris is some kind of practical joke or something or the like?
She wouldn't fall for that, would she?
Why not? Soldier Island's got a reputation for having some crazy ideas. This is just another crazy party, that's all. Narcot knows there's enough food and drink to last us a while. She probably does think this is just some sort of prank.
Can't we light a bonfire up on the top of the island so that they'd see it?
It's probably been provided against. All signals are to be ignored. We're cut off all right.
But can't we do something?
Oh, we can do something. We can find this funny gentleman, this Mr. Unknown Owen. I'll bet you anything you like he's somewhere here still on this island. And if you ask me, the sooner we get to him, the better. He's mad as a hatter and dangerous as a rattlesnake.
Hardly a very good simile, Captain Lombard. The rattlesnake at least gives warning of its approach.
Warning. My God, warning, yes! 10 little soldier boys going out to dine. There were 10 of us after Narcot left, weren't there? 10 little soldier boys going out to dine. One went and choked himself. Marston choked himself, didn't he? 9 little soldier boys sat up very late. One overslept himself. That fits Mrs. Rogers rather well, don't you think?
You don't think. Do you mean that he wants to kill us all?
I think that's exactly what he means to do.
And each one fits with the rhyme.
It's impossible. It's impossible. It must be a coincidence.
There's only 8 of us left. Is that a coincidence? What do you think, Bloor?
I don't like it.
This is terrible.
None of us will ever leave this island.
Can't somebody shut up, Grandpa?
Don't you irritate your honor?
Up to a point, yes.
Then the sooner we do something about this, the better. Come on, Bloor. Come on, Armstrong. We'll make short work of it.
I'm ready. Nobody's got a revolver by any chance? Suppose that's too much to hope for.
I've got one.
You always carry that with you?
I've been in some tight places.
Well, I've never been in a tighter place than this one. There's a homicidal maniac running around. We'll have a whole arsenal on it, and I'll use it.
Actually, you might be wrong there, Flora. So many homicidal maniacs are rather quiet, unassuming people.
Delightful fellows!
You wouldn't even guess that they were crazy.
Well, if he's one of those types, we'll leave him to you, Doctor. Now then, I suggest Lombard searches the island while me and Armstrong... Lombard. You search the house, and me and Armstrong will do the island.
Yes, that ought to be easy. No secret doors or sliding panels.
Mind if he doesn't get you before you get him.
I'll be all right. But you two had better be careful. Remember, one got left behind.
Come on, Armstrong.
Quite an energetic young man, Captain Lombard.
Don't you think he's right? If someone's hiding on the island, they'll be bound to find him. It's practically bare rock.
I think this problem requires brains to solve it, not brawn.
Where are you going?
Oh, I'm going to sit in the sun and think, my dear young lady.
Where did I put that skein of wool? Did you leave it upstairs? Shall I go and see if I can find it? No, I know where it's likely to be. I'll get it.
Yes, it's much easier to sit quietly and wait.
Wait for what?
For the end, of course. I wish I could find Leslie.
Your wife?
Yes, I wish you known her. She was so pretty, so gay.
Was she?
Yes, I loved her very much. But of course, I was a lot older than she was. She was 27. Arthur Richmond was 26. He was my ADC. Leslie liked him. They used to talk of music and plays together, and she used to tease him and make fun of him. I was pleased. Damn fool, wasn't I? No fool like an old fool. Exactly like a book, the way I found out. When I was out in France, she wrote to both of us and put the letters in the wrong envelopes. So I knew.
Oh no.
It's quite all right, my dear. It's a long time ago. But you see, I loved her and believed in her. I never told him I'd found out. I let it gather inside here. A slow, murderous rage. Damn young hypocrite. I liked the boy. Trusted him.
I wonder what the others are doing.
I sent him to his death.
Oh.
Yes, it was quite easy. Mistakes were being made all the time. All anyone could say was that I lost my nerve a bit, made a blunder, sacrificed one of my best men. Yes, it was quite easy. Plus, they never found out. I never told her. We went on, as usual. But somehow, nothing was quite real anymore. She died of pneumonia. She had a heart-shaped face, and gray eyes, and brown hair that curled.
Don't.
We're all going to die, you know.
I don't know.
You don't seem to understand. I thought you would. And you'd be glad, too, that the end is coming.
General.
Don't talk to me that way. You don't understand. I'm going to sit here and wait. Wait for Leslie to come.
I'm frightened. Oh, I'm frightened.
All correct. One corpse, no secret passages.
Don't.
I say you do look low. How about a drink?
A drink? 2 corpses in the house at 9 in the morning, and all you say, have a drink. An old man going quite crackers. Have a drink. 10 people accused of murder. That's all right. Just have a drink. Everything's fine so long as you have a drink.
All right, stay thirsty.
You're nothing but an adventurer. Waster.
Say, you are head up my suite.
I am not your sweet.
Oh, I rather thought that you were.
Well, you can think again.
Oh, come now, you don't really feel like that. We've got something in common, you and I. Rogues and murderers can't fall out.
Crows and murderers.
All right, so you don't want the company of a rogue or a murderer, and you won't have a drink. I guess I'll finish searching.
Unpleasant young man. I can't find it anywhere. Is anything the matter?
I'm worried about the general. He really is ill, I think.
Looking out for the boat, General. His sin has found him out.
Oh, don't.
One must face facts.
Can any of us afford to throw stones?
Even if his wife was no better than she should have been, and she must have been a depraved woman, he had no right to take judgment into his own hands.
What about Beatrice Taylor? Who? That was her name, wasn't it?
You are referring to that absurd accusation about myself.
Yes.
Now that we are alone, I have no objection to telling you the facts of the case. Indeed, I should like you to hear them. It was not a fit subject to discuss before gentlemen, so naturally I refused to say anything last night. That girl, Beatrice Taylor, was in my service. I was very much deceived in her. She was clean and willing and had nice manners. This, of course, was the sheerest hypocrisy. She was a loose girl with no morals. Disgusting. It was some time before I found out she was what they call in trouble. It was quite a shock to me. Her parents were good folks, too, who had raised her strictly. I'm glad to say they didn't condone her actions.
What happened?
I refuse to keep her an hour under my roof. No one shall ever say I condone immorality.
Did she drown herself?
Yes,
How old was she?
17.
Only 17.
Quite old enough to know how to behave. I told her what a low and depraved thing she was. I told her she was beyond the pale, and that her child would be the child of sin and would be branded all its life. I told her that the man would naturally not dream of marrying her. I told her that no good person would take her into their home. I told her that I felt soiled having ever had her an hour under my roof.
You told a girl of 17 all that?
Yes, I'm glad to say I broke her down utterly.
Poor little devil.
I have no patience for those who indulge towards sin.
And then I suppose you turned her out of the house?
Certainly.
She didn't dare go home. What did you feel like when you found out she drowned herself?
Feel like?
Yes. Didn't you blame yourself?
Certainly not. I had nothing with which to reproach myself.
I believe you really feel like that. That makes it even more horrible.
That girl's unbalanced. The heathen are sunk down in the pit that they made.
Breakfast is ready, ma'am.
Be quiet! In the net which they hid is their own foot taken. The Lord is known.
Breakfast is ready.
Madame Wargrave is sitting out there in the sun, and Dr. Armstrong and Mr. Bloor are searching the island. I shouldn't bother about them.
The Lord is known by the judgment he executed. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hand. Shall we go in? I don't feel like eating.
Breakfast is ready, General.
Shall not the isles shake at the sound of the fall, when the wounded cry, when the slaughter is made in the midst of thee? Then all the princes of the sea shall come down.
Reading aloud, Miss Brent?
Yes, it is my custom to read a portion of the Bible every day.
A very good habit, I'm sure.
What luck did you have?
There's no cover on the island. No one can hide anywhere.
What about the house, Lombard?
I'll swear my life that there's no one on this house but us, especially from out of the cellar.
Breakfast is getting cold.
Breakfast? Oh, come on, boy. You've been yelling for breakfast ever since you got up. Let's eat, drink, and be merry. For tomorrow we die. Or who knows? Perhaps even tonight.
You ought to be ashamed of such levity, Captain Lombard.
Come now, General. Breakfast is getting cold tonight. He's been stabbed in the back. Or he's not left behind.
He's dead.
But how? There's nobody else but us on the island. Who could have done it?
Exactly, right here, sir. Don't you realize that this clever and cunning criminal is always comfortably one step ahead of us? That no matter what we do, he knows exactly what we're going to do next and makes his plans accordingly. There's only one place, where a successful murderer can hide and get away with it.
One place. Where?
Here in this room. Mr. Owen is one of us.
Madam Morris.
Well, Mr. Bloor?
I wanted to get you alone. You were right what you said last night. This damn murderer is one of us. I think I know who it is.
Really?
You ever heard of the Lizzie Borden case? In America. Old couple chopped in half with an axe in the middle of the morning. Only person who could have done it was the daughter, a respectable, middle-aged spinster. Incredible. So incredible that they acquitted her. But they never found any other explanation.
Then your answer to the problem is Miss Emily Brent?
I tell you, that woman is mad as a hatter. Religious mad. She's the one we must watch her.
Really? I formed the conclusion that your suspicions were in a different order.
Yes, but I changed my mind. Here's why. She's the only one who isn't scared. Why? Because she knows perfectly well she's in no danger. Hush!
We've made some coffee. However, it's cold in here.
You'd hardly believe it when you think about what a fine morning it was.
Are Captain Lombard and Roger still out?
Yes, no boat will put out in this. They couldn't land anyways.
Miss Brent.
Oh, allow me.
You were right to insist on our going to lunch and having some coffee with it. I feel better.
Ah, the court always adjourns for lunch.
Well, but say it's a nightmare. Feels as though it can't be true. What are we going to do about it?
I should like shortly to hold an informal court of inquiry. May at least be able to eliminate some innocent people.
You haven't done much of any kind, have you, Miss Laythorne?
If Miss Playthorne suspects one of us three, that's rather an awkward question.
Oh, I'm sure it isn't any of you. If you ask me who I suspected, I'd say Dr. Armstrong.
Armstrong?
Yes, because don't you see, he's had far and away the best chance of killing Mrs. Rogers. Terribly easy for him, as a doctor, to give her an overdose of sleeping stuff.
Yes, but somebody else gave her the brandy, remember?
Her husband had a good opportunity of administering a drug.
Isn't Rogers? He doesn't have the brains for this kind of stunt. Or the money. Besides, you can see he's scared stiff.
My God, it's something like a storm. There's no hope of rescue in that.
Oh, it's only you. Who did you think it was? Beatrice Taylor?
See, I've taken your coffee now.
Such restraint in the face of danger is nothing short of heroic.
I do not profess to be a weather prophet, but I doubt a boat could reach us even if it knew our flight in under 24 hours. Even if the wind dies down, the sea has still to go down.
You're awfully wet.
Is anyone a swimmer? Would it be possible to swim to the mainland?
It's over a mile. And in this sea, you'd be dashed on the rocks and drowned.
Drowned in the pond.
Oh, I beg your pardon, Miss Brent.
After dinner now.
It's terribly cold in here.
I can light a fire for you if you like, miss.
That would be a good idea.
Very sound scheme, Rogers.
Oh, does anyone know what's become of the top bathroom curtain?
Tell me you're going crazy too, Rogers.
The bathroom curtain?
Yes, sir. It's a scarlet oil silk. It's missing.
Has anybody seen a scarlet oil silk curtain? I'm afraid it's no luck.
It's nothing, sir. Only I thought it was odd.
Everything in this house is odd, Rogers.
You're right at that, sir. I'll go get a few sticks and a few knobs of coal and get a lovely little fire going.
I wonder if you would like some coffee. He's awfully wet. Rogers?
Whatever happened to Armstrong?
Oh, he went to his room to rest.
Well, someone's probably batting him out one by now.
I should think he had the good sense to bolt his door.
It won't be so easy now that we're all on our guard.
I advise you, Mr. Bloor, not to be too confident. I should like shortly to hold an informal court of inquiry.
For who?
For us, we need to protect ourselves. Of the 10 people that came to this island, 3 are definitely cleared, but there are still 7 of us left. 7 little soldier boys.
One of whom is a bogus little soldier boy.
Exactly.
Well, in spite of what Miss Playthorne said just now, I'd say that you, Madam Lawrence, and Dr. Armstrong are above suspicion. He's known all over the country. You are too.
Mr. Bloor, that proves nothing. Judges have gone mad before. So have doctors. So have policemen.
Here, here. Well, do you want any coffee?
You'd rather make yourself a nice cup of tea. What about Dr. Armstrong? Do you think we ought to take him up a cup?
No, allow me.
No, please. like to change out of these wet clothes.
Yes, you ought to. You'll catch a cold.
Oh, I advise you, Captain Lombard. He might not admit to you. He might be afraid of your revolver.
Ah, yes. That revolver. I've been meaning to have a talk with you about that.
Oh, do go and change, please.
What were you going to say, Lord?
I was wondering why you brought a revolver. What's supposed to be a little social gathering.
Well, I've been some tight places, and I've gotten out of them. I've gotten in the habit of taking a revolver with me wherever I go. Pleasant feeling having a gun handy, isn't it?
We don't carry them. Now then, I want the truth about this gun.
What a damn suspicious fellow you are, Lord.
I know a fishy story when I hear one.
If this is about that revolver, I'd like to hear what you have to say.
Very well. I received a letter from a Mr. and Mrs. Owens asking me to be a guest at one of their parties. Said it would be well worth my while. The writer said he heard I was a good man to have in a tight place and that there'd be danger, but I'd be okay as long as I kept my eyes open.
I'd never have fallen for that.
But I did. I was bored. Oh, how I was bored in this tame country. It's an intriguing proposition, you must admit.
Too vague for my liking.
That was the whole charm. It aroused my curiosity.
Curiosity killed the cat.
Yes, quite.
Oh, do go and change, please.
I'm going, my dear, I'm going. The old maternal instinct, I think it's called.
Don't be ridiculous.
That's a tall story. If it's true, why didn't he tell it to us last night?
He might have thought this was the emergency that he was well prepared for.
Perhaps it is.
Well, if that's true. He's a wrong in that man. I wouldn't trust him a yard.
Are you such a good judge of truth?
Why can't we get off this island? We should be able to get off this island, right? Who is this murderer? And why is he coming after us?
We must not give away to nerves, Doctor.
Sorry, guess it's physician, kill thyself type case.
Sleeping badly?
Yes, I keep dreaming of hospitals, operations, and I cut my throat.
Real nightmares.
Do you ever dream of sentencing a man to death in court?
Are you by any chance referring to a man by the name of Edward Seaton? I should assure you, I should lose no sleep over the death of Edward Seaton, a particularly brutal and cold-blooded murderer. The jury liked him. They were inclined to let him go, I could see. However, I cooked Seaton's goose.
It's cold in here, isn't it?
I wish Rogers would hurry up.
Yes, where is Rogers? He's been gone a while.
He said he'd got to get some sticks.
Sticks? Sticks? My God, sticks!
My God!
Well, are there only 6?
There are only 5.
5?
Rogers and Lombard?
Not Philip.
Rogers!
Where the hell is blood off like a madman?
Oh, Philip, have you seen Rogers?
No, why should I?
There are only 5 soldier boys.
5?
I thought it was you.
Well, how is he?
In the scullery.
Is he?
He's dead, all right. Killed with an axe while he was bent over the wood box.
One chopped himself in half. And then there were 6.
Calm down, dear. Calm down. She'll be all right. What's next, boys? Bees? They keep bees on the island. That's the next line, isn't it? 6 little soldier boys playing with the hive. A bumblebee stung one, and then there were 5. We all look rather spry to me, unless you don't think. A hypodermic syringe.
The modern beasting.
While she was sitting there, one of us.
One of us.
Which of us?
All right, we're in the home stretch. 5 minutes to get some more refreshments, stretch your legs, and then be right back. So, thank you.